Does anyone else feel lately like the world has been spiraling out of control and we're falling deep into a rabbit hole and things are happening so fast that you don't even notice everything that's happening as it goes by you? Like I feel like I'm in the twilight zone sometimes.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Except our Twilight Zone's a little different. You unlock this door with a key of oppression. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of thought crime, a dimension of honor killing, a dimension of Muslim apologetics. You're moving into a land of both halal and haram, of Muhammad and Allah. You've just crossed into the Sharia zone. Does everyone remember Sadiq Khan, the newly elected London mayor, who put a ban on ads of women showing too much skin? And there was some controversy because people were claiming it was his way of trying to implement Sharia in slowly into the English law. And he vehemently denied that claim, of course, as most do. But he's back in the news lately, and this was actually about 2 weeks ago. And I'd never heard anybody talk about it, really, so it's interesting to me. London mayor to set up police online hate crime hub in partnership with social media firms. Here once again we have Sadiq Khan banning something or taking away the freedoms of the citizens of London in an attempt, I think, to implement more Sharia and make the culture more suitable for Muslims in London. But he'll deny that. Let's get into the article a bit. The office of London's first Muslim mayor has secured millions of pounds to fund a police online hate crime hub to work in partnership with social media providers to criminalize trolls who target individuals and communities. I don't know what to say anymore when little by little we see rights being taken away from people. And I know what I'm going to hear, that this is not a violation of free speech, this is not the government, it's a private business, they could do this. But these private businesses are running the platforms of where you can speak online. This is what they're doing. So that's why we have laws against monopolies. There are laws in place to stop monopolies so that businesses cannot control the market, which is a reason why there should be laws in place for such similar monopolies that are going on within social media networks where they're controlling free speech. They run the platform. The London Mayor's Office for Policing and Crime, MOPAC, will spend £1,730,726 of taxpayers' money policing speech online after applying for a huge grant from the Home Office Police Innovation Fund, PIF. It was announced in a statement. The purpose of this program is to strengthen the police and community response to this growing crime type. It was announced, dummies. And it will involve a dedicated police team backed by volunteers. MOPAC, to whom the Met answers, has advertised a vacancy for a civilian program manager with a salary of £52,455 to support the 5 other police employees. For those of you who think, these social justice warriors and feminists don't get their way, this is basically what this is. A bunch of feminists are going to be running this campaign and helping police. It's fucking insane, and I'll show you that later, actually. I will get into that a little. But little by little, Sadiq Khan will implement Sharia. No one wants to believe it. Honestly, though, do you think that when a Muslim is in charge of a city that is almost majority Muslim at this point, he's not going to favor the Muslims? They're not going to vote in undemocratic laws, which more suit their needs of Sharia, which they're all in favor of? Sorry, not all. which they're not all in favor of, but lots or most. The measures will be delivered in partnership with social media providers who, along with specialist officers, will be filtering the identification of online hate crimes and identifying the location of the crime and allocating to the appropriate force. In May this year, the EU announced that Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Microsoft had committed to working more closely with them and national governments and their law enforcement agencies to help criminalize perceived illegal hate speech online. The Metropolitan Police Service is committed to working with our partners, including the mayor, to tackle all types of hate crime, including offenses committed online, a spokesman for the Met said. By establishing this unit, we are sending a strong message to those who use online forums to spread hate that their actions will not be tolerated. The Metropolitan Police Service continues to have a zero-tolerance approach to all forms of hate crime. See, but they won't distinguish between jokes and real hate and hate speech. It's just speech. You can't just say you hate something or someone. Why am I not allowed to hate? Why am I not allowed to be angry? Why? The Met encourages all victims of hate crime to report any incident to the police and will make every effort to hold offenders to account and bring them to justice. Convictions for crimes under Section 127 of the Communications Act of 2003, a law increasingly used to prosecute internet trolls, ridiculous, this is fucking insane, have increased tenfold in a decade. Official figures revealed in May last year. They showed 1,209 people were found guilty of offenses under the law, compared with 143 in 2004. It's multiplied by 10 in basically 10 years. The law criminalizes using a public electronic communications network in order to cause annoyance, inconvenience, or needless anxiety, and can result in a 6-month prison term or fine of up to £5,000. Let us skip a little. The police are almost playing the role of moral police, and instead of dealing with real crime in the offline world, the police find it very convenient to send the message in the online world because it's a relatively easy thing to do, he said. Yep, that's exactly right. It's very easy to just fucking tell these people that they'll be arrested if they do this over the internet, and they'll stop doing it. And then what? You can't interact with anyone on Twitter. Any disagreement is going to be hate speech. It's amazing. This shit drives me up a wall. Now I know what you're going to be saying. This article came from Breitbart. You can't believe all this right-wing propaganda. You can't believe right-wing sources. Let me show you something from the Huffington Post. London Metropolitan Police Service take a massive step to tackle online hate crime. So, if you didn't think it was true, here it is from a far left-wing source. The Metropolitan Police Service's recent announcement to create a new online hate crime hub to improve their response to online hate crime is an important step in tackling one of the most prevalent forms of hate crime. They won't mention which one that is, but the move signals that we are finally beginning to adapt to the new avenues of crime presented through the onset of social media. Let me retranslate that for you. The move signals that we are finally beginning to adapt the views and demands of the social justice warriors. Last year I wrote a document titled #ReportHate, Combating Online Hatred. These fucking people are nuts. They want to stop people from hating. These people want to stop humans from doing basic human shit. Soon they'll want to stop them from shitting because it'll be offensive. My research found that 4 out of 5 victims of online hate crime don't report it to the police because it's just fucking people telling them they hate them. There's no fucking online hate crimes. Because of failings in the system, I proposed the creation of the new specialist hate crime unit to help simplify and improve the police response to reported online hate crime. There you go. You could thank Andrew Buff, conservative London-wide assembly member, conservative by the way, interesting is that, for pushing this policy of hate crime and policing hate speech. I am delighted that following a London Assembly meeting in June where I convinced Mayor Sadiq Khan to read our report on the matter, the Mayor's Office for Policing and Crime have decided to adopt our principal recommendation for the report. In addition, I am particularly pleased to note that the unit will adopt the structure we recommended in our report. So if you think people don't have a say pushing this feminist left collectivist ideology, you got another thing coming, people. This shit is being pushed all over.